Jackson State was ready to release the schedule of season 2022 Monday that evening, yesterday. Unfortunately, due to this new era of, trying to be first, they had to change its course. And they delayed it for next week. And I'll chime in. What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And one thing we all learn on social media and YouTube, Twitter, etc., is that wait for the actual source to come out on any news. There's a reason why brothers like me, SWAC Buzz, subscribe to this channel. The CFL Podcast, subscribe to his channel. Tomorrow Leader Sports Network, subscribe to his channel. There's a reason why we didn't just jump the gun on the news. I had to do some research because I had people hitting me up saying, DJ, make the video. And what I would continue telling them is that let me do some research. So what I found out was the so-called schedule came out Monday morning, and it was from a Twitter account that is allegedly a Jackson State booster. The Twitter account only had like 100 and some subs. I didn't know if it was legit or not, but a lot of people took it and ran with it. I get it. Everybody wants to be the first. Everybody wants to break the news and all that stuff. But is it really worth it? Think about it. Now, I know a couple shines are not going to like what I'm saying, but I don't really care. Here's the thing about YouTube. Most of the stuff you hear, most of the things people would say, they wouldn't say it to your face. So I don't really care what anyone may say about me. I have a good life. And if I wasn't doing YouTube, you know what I would be doing? I'll be on the island right now, still smoking a cigar in good weather and reading. That's what I would be doing. But I do YouTube to connect with the family and to build a bond with the people. And it's been so fun. It's been a joy and a blessing. But I'm disappointed. A lot of reactions came out of that news, that so-called news. That wasn't. A lot of people said that the overall Jackson State schedule was weak. Now, let's put it in context. It's best to say the non-conference is not as strong, if it was that schedule, of course. But to say the overall schedule is weak, didn't you have to admit that the whole SWAC was weak? And whoever's saying that may sound like a hypocrite, because it's the same people saying the SWAC is underrated, the SWAC needs respect, the whole season. You can't say that and then say their overall schedule is weak, because those 10 SWAC schools, because those 10 SWAC schools are going to be on this next schedule. The only thing that would change, most likely, is the non-conference game, which will be in homecoming. But you can't say, and when the person I'm talking to a lot of people. For some reason, there's a lot of hidden jealousy for Jackson State. If you really don't like Jackson State, why would you pay attention to them? Why would you care who they schedule? Why would you have all that energy if you don't like Jackson State? That goes to anybody. And there's a lot of people who dislike Jackson State who come from our own community. It's okay to say, I don't want Jackson State to play a Division II team or NIA school. I just want them to play FCS in non-conference. That's okay. But if you make fun of their whole schedule, you're making fun of the whole SWAC. Then you're admitting that the whole SWAC is weak. You see where it's going? It's all about context. It's all about understanding. Now, I made a video, and I was very honest. I did not want to see any Division II teams. The reason why is because last season, when they played against Delta State, they had a 17-0 lead, and then they let up. And these athletes are human. When they play a division that is lower than theirs, they can get lackadaisical. And like, man, what's the benefit of playing this team? There's no NFL prospects. There's nothing. That's the mindset they have. And that's just normal. That's okay to say that. But when you say their whole schedule is bad or going to be bad, you're going off code. So are you saying FAMU is bad? Are you saying Grambling is bad? They're not bad. If the people that dislike Jackson State's so-called schedule, and we all know they're going to change it, allegedly, basically, it's going to be a one-game change. We all know that Arkansas Pine Bluff will stay where it's at. No problem. This is all business. See, a lot of folks are so sensitive and don't see the big picture. This is to keep the black dollar in-house. That's why there's a 10-game SWAC schedule. So what side are you going to be on, for those who are listening? Now, you just heard me. I've been objective. I want the homecoming to be a lower level or any level of FCS. It doesn't have to be lower level, any level of FCS. I just don't want it to be a Division II team. Small school. I don't want that. There are a lot of losing schools in the FCS. Houston Baptist is one of them. Lamar. I mean, the list goes on. That are in the South. McNeese State, which didn't have a good year last year. But besides me saying that, I understand that this is about generating a black dollar without going to these PWIs, and especially the FBS, scheduling a Georgia or Alabama, instead of getting destroyed by 60. Now, I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, DJ, are you saying you don't want competition? There's a difference between super elite, like Alabama and Georgia, that have destroyed teams who had talent. You're talking about Alabama and Georgia that had NFL head coaches or former NFL head coaches in their coaching staff alone. Not coordinators, not position coaches, head coaches. No matter what you say about Bill O'Brien was a head coach. He's the offensive coordinator of Alabama. He was the head coach of the Houston Texans. Took the Texans to playoffs a couple years, had a couple bad years as well, but he took that team to a couple playoff games. They have a high payroll. I don't think people understand what it takes to build elite teams. It takes some money. Y'all don't want to believe it, but it does take money. Now we have North Dakota State, who does it organically, but credit to them, North Dakota State has a system that has been working for decades. Even before the past 10 years, they were winning. They may have not won all the championships, but they were a perennial FCS playoff team. And that same system is still there till this day. Jackson State is working to get to that point. It takes more than the 2 recruiting classes. I don't care if you get a 5-star or 4-star. It takes work. And if you could look at the 2023 and 2024 schedule, I know that's far away, but still, can you honestly ask yourself, did Jackson State dominate last season? No. Jackson State fans know it, SWAC fans know it, HBCU fans know it, college football fans in general know it. They didn't. They dominated one game, and that was Alabama A&M. And note to self, do not throw jabs at Jackson State, because they seem to, when they've been called out and just dissed on, they flip the switch. That's the one Achilles heel of Jackson State. They got to be consistent. But that's another topic for another video. But back on subject. They weren't consistent last year. They weren't dominating every game. So until they do that, a 10-game SWAC schedule, and then hopefully, the one non-conference game, because we know it's going to be one unless a major change happens. I don't see it. It is what it is. But again, if you're not a Jackson State fan, and I'm not saying I'm a Jackson State fan, I root for the message. I root for the school. I see what they're trying to do. I root for anybody who's trying to not only level the playing field, but just create change. My father went to Prairie View A&M. I didn't go there. But I have SWAC history in my family. Cousins and uncles and aunts went to Texas Southern. Got a cousin that went to Texas Southern, got his law degree there, and a defense attorney. So there's history there. That's why I love the SWAC. That's why I love HBCUs. It's been ingrained in me since I was a young man. This conference is special. And I truly believe, I may be the lone wolf here, but I truly believe if all the cards work right, multiple, hopefully 4, SWAC schools will be ranked in the top 25. That's what I believe. Now, if you don't believe that, that's your prerogative. But this is such an amazing time. The only people that should be worried about Jackson State schedule is Jackson State fans. That's the only ones. Nobody else. This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings, peace and joy to everyone. Make sure you have a great day, and I'm out.